Hey, it's Jordan Ross Myers, the man behind Twitter's notorious Lee Radswell and Don Gunvalson. I'm inviting you to join me every week for the Pretty Corrupt podcast. Along with my co-host, reality casting director Stacey Noel Connor, and disgraced entertainment TV producer Nate Safer, we deconstruct pop culture's past, present, and future and probe the dark crevices of Hollywood, taking you inside the scandals, feuds, rises, and falls of society's rich and infamous. Alongside interviews with our celebrity friends and special guest hosts, everything is fair game on the Pretty Corrupt podcast. Every Tuesday on all streaming platforms and at storicmedia.com.
A playlist original.
Ready to be petty. Welcome back to another episode of RTBP. I'm so glad you're here. Today I have one of my high school best friends, Lindsay, back on the podcast. She was on some episodes back in the day. I'll put the links to those in the episode show notes if you want to learn a little bit more about her. But we have a fun chat about her wedding, about money, and this new cool endeavor that she's working on. Then, of course, we get into some celebrity gossip. We talk a little bit about High School Musical, the series. And if you're listening to this come August, it's already out. Season 3 is out, baby. I hope you've listened to it. I am currently somewhere in the United States, hopefully without a sunburn, enjoying my best East Coast life. Anyways, if you haven't already, you should follow me on social media at RTBP Podcast and pick up a piece of RTBP merch. You can find the links to that in the episode show notes. Also, I just want to say, not that this podcast is tangential, it does definitely fit, but when we talk about money and budgeting and a few other things like that, we do get into some like high school horror stories of like teenage jobs we had. So I don't know, stay for the laughs. I will give you a little bit of BTS. I laughed so hard I knocked my glasses off my face. I was doing that big of a demonstration for one of the stories. I talk with my hands, okay? Okay, that's it from me. I'll see you on the other side. Here is my conversation with Lindsay. I'm back with a very special guest, Lindsay from the Woke Wallet Project. Lindsay, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad to be recording. You have been on this podcast twice, so the OG listeners will know. You were on episode 19 and 29. We're at episode 104, 103. 103? Which is so wild.
That was my, like, you know, the Hotmail accounts.
Yes, you were Lindsay Tepper 103.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew you.
Oh my God.
Back then.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That was like my MSN login. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was Tortor 606. I still have a Hotmail. It's not Tortor 606, but like every time I go to a store and they're like, oh, can I look up your account via email? I'm like,
oh my
blah,
God.
Blah, blah, at hotmail.com. And I'm like, ew, I'm so tacky. Like,
cringe.
But like, okay, switching over your email after you've had it for fucking like 25 years is such a pain.
It's more of a pain than changing your physical address for like everything.
Literally.
So I just like forward it to like a more respectable Gmail account now.
I know, but this is the embarrassing thing is I don't trust that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why don't I trust that? I know it works. I like do it with my work email, but for some reason I'm like, I just don't trust it. So last time you were on the podcast, we were talking about your wedding and it was like in the midst of COVID, but your wedding has come and gone. Your honeymoon has come and gone and it was so much fun. Your wedding was literally the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. And on the pod, you were like telling me you were like basically canceling it. And it was like a live reaction. which was amazing, like just adding drama to this podcast. But you eventually did reschedule, and we went to Mexico, and we celebrated you and your husband, and it was so much fun.
It was really great. So I didn't know really what was going to go down at our wedding because I just did not take like a hands-on approach. I kind of just left it to my partner and was like, okay, here you go.
Which is so weird, I feel like, because I feel like he did such a good job, like truly so good. But like, I just can't believe that because I just feel like normally you would want to plan all the details.
I just get overwhelmed and I just procrastinate and I just like I'm not a great human being.
Stop.
But the biggest surprise we knew that we were going to have a traditional like Mayan ceremony. So nothing to do with religion, nothing. It was just about like incorporating the elements of the earth. But you should have seen my face. Maybe you did when I walked down the aisle and there was a naked shaman standing at the edge of the end of the aisle. So that was surprise number one. Surprise number two was when he made every single guest come up and say like a well wish for Diego and I.
Yeah, ready to be petty. Yes, literally. I'm ready to be petty about your officiant. Like, so let me set the stage. We are at like a under 30 person wedding, like 24 people or whatever. Mm-hmm. We're in beautiful Mexico. We're on the beach. We're all sitting in our little chairs watching Lindsay and Diego get married by, two Mayan officiants. And we're nearing the end of like the ceremony. And he's like, okay, now, like people will stand up and give a well wish to the couple. And I was like, oh, like he's meaning like the parents, the immediate family members. And he starts going down all the fucking rows. I'm in the back row being like, oh my fucking God, there's a microphone involved. And people I feel like would be like, will you podcast with a microphone every single day? But I'm like, this gets heavily edited. And I am on the spot. I don't have a speech prepared or anything like that, but it was totally fine. And actually, that's the first thing. Like, obviously I get home, all my friends, all my family members, my mom's asking, how did the wedding go and stuff? And that's actually the first thing I bring up. It was so beautiful. And sometimes, I'm getting into the weeds of it, but like sometimes, when you're like at work and like people are going through updates or whatever, and you're just like, oh, just get to the next person. I was like really scared about that. No, I was weeping. Everyone did such a beautiful job. It was so special. And when do you ever get your like closest family and friends to kind of say those things out loud? Like I know people write them in cards or like maybe say it in passing or text or whatever, but like to have that, like it was so special. It was. If I had a small wedding, which people know I'm not going to have a wedding because of my side profile, I could not stand at the altar. I would have to angle towards the audience. But like, if I did, I would want that, like people to do that.
It was really beautiful. There was not a dry eye. I have literally nothing to be petty about my wedding. It was perfect. For me, it was perfect.
Literally, me too. And like I've only cried in my life 3 times, happy tears, and that was the 3rd time.
Totally. Oh, I'm so glad. That makes me like, makes my heart warm.
It was also funny. I'm not gonna call her out, but when someone at our table broke their entire ceviche wine glass that it was like held in, but like we just overindulged at the cocktail hour. Like.
I did not know that the wedding planner, they were going to go around. They put on the song Tequila and then went around and they were pouring bottles of tequila in people's mouths before the Hora Loca. So like by the Hora Loca, I'm like, well, we already had this.
Yes. But, okay. Also, we should explain. We were at a Colombian wedding because your husband is Colombian. Mm-hmm. So his dad, who's like must be in his 70s or 80s,
like was almost like on the cusp.
Okay. Cut this out. this very young looking man in his 60s was pouring Colombian alcohol down my throat.
Yeah.
Yes. Down my throat on the dance floor. It was iconic.
So, like when you go look through your wedding album, I have not made my wedding album yet, side note, because I just procrastinate. This is why I did not plan my wedding. Anyway.
Yeah.
So when you go through like all the photos, there are like a few beautiful photos. But then once after the ceremony, like the ceremony is like people crying and like just people really happy and like a lot of love and hugging everybody. Then you go to the mariachi. And
yes,
I
loved that.
I was not like around really for the mariachi part because Diego and I were taking our photos. But like then I see the photos of my friends and they're taking shots, and then it just gets like more and more like loco.
Yeah.
At the end of the night, there are photos of Tori, like, yeah, the aguardiente being poured down her throat, like down her chin.
Yes, down the front of my beautiful dress. It was so bad. I'm literally crying.
It became like from like really elegant, and then everybody was just like straight trash.
Okay. Yeah, but I loved it because at Colombian weddings, big emphasis on alcohol, big emphasis on dancing, and this Hora Loca, which I had never experienced before, but it's like madness.
Yeah, it's madness. It's like crazy kind of cumbia, like it's like African root kind of music from the north of Colombia. And the music, you just like can't not dance. Like even if you're like a horrible dancer, you're just like you can't stop.
I was like, I just want to like, my like
shimmy,
step and snap. Yeah, and a little shimmy. And I was like, this is literally the most embarrassing moment of my life. And then I was like, Diego's dad, get over here and pour that aguardiente down my throat so I can continue to dance. But like, I will say that I've been to an Australian wedding and I was like, Australians are known to party hard, but the Colombians, I feel like, take the cake.
They do. And like, side note, no drugs were involved.
Yeah. It was clean fun.
Yeah. Clean Colombian fun.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So you have embarked on, other than marriage, you have embarked on another journey. You have started an Instagram account called the Woke Wallet Project. Do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about that?
So full disclosure, like my dream job really is just to be an influencer. But like
same.
I know. Like I like no shame.
No shame.
I just think it's like the coolest thing to be an influencer. But like I'm not that cool.
Neither.
Like if you could see the Zoom combo, the video right now, you would understand what I'm talking about. Like
you look cute. I'm in my pajamas.
I'm on like day 4 hair.
You have your Britney Spears mic. I love it.
Yeah. So I thought, well, I really like Instagram. I really like how it connects people. I like how you can share information so easily, and then you can people just like follow what speaks to them too. So I just thought, okay, well, what can I offer the Instagram community? And first I was thinking, well, like maybe I could go down like finance and investment route, or like accounting, but like who the fuck wants to hear about? Like that's not exciting. So then I thought, well, something that I've been like really involved in like personally the past 3 or 4 years, like I've become really into budgeting, and I've just seen like how it's changed my life, and also like how I think as a consumer now too. So I thought, well, why don't I talk about budgeting and what I've done and how it's helped me get into a better like position financially. So that's kind of how the Woke Wallet project started. So it's a new project. I think it's probably going to evolve because it's kind of a new territory for me. Like even like editing posts and stuff, or just trying to create something that's to an audience for people who, can apply it to their everyday lives, like not using things that are like super technical. Basically, like 4 years ago, like I really was just living like paycheck to paycheck. Like I think like a lot of us millennials, we just think like, okay, we can never like afford a house, or, have the American dream, or have the life that our parents gave us as children. So like we just kind of like wash our hands clean, and we're like, okay, well, fuck it. Like I'm in a YOLO. I don't know what else to say other than YOLO, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. And I was just kind of like, I was almost like a bitter Betty about it. And then I didn't really know where my money was going. And sometimes I would be like over, like my Visa bill would be over. And I'd be like, well, like, what the hell? Like, I don't know how this is happening and stuff. So when I met my partner, he like encouraged me to start budgeting and saving, but my income was like, it was just like too low. Like I was living like downtown Vancouver, and I just like, I thought I couldn't do it. And anyway, but I think I started to like hear the same thing from my peers. So when we started to save together is when I think I started to learn better about what works the best. So I feel like with budgeting, it's kind of just a momentum that you have to get into. Like when you start budgeting little by little, like you just get the wheels moving, and it just gets easier, and it just becomes part of your daily life. And then what I've also learned about budgeting, it's kind of like macro counting. Like I apologize if that is a trigger for anybody, but I think people understand what they already know. So if I speak in terms of like macros, maybe it's more familiar for people, or even like the concept of like a numerical like maximum like calorie counting, or like maybe people aren't as damaged as I am, because like Weight Watchers on like at age 13, like
yes, I do know.
yeah.
Yes, but I know what you're saying. Like budgeting seems so foreign, at least to me, and so you're trying to just put it into terms that people know and that people can relate to or like understand.
Yeah. So like if you don't like, if nobody's familiar with this, like like macronutrients are just proteins, fats, and carbs. Like that's simple. That's it. Like personally, me, I don't track my macros. I just try to hit my proteins. So I'm like, okay, I know I should be eating X amount of protein every day to be a healthy human. So I think of protein as like my savings. So the monthly income is kind of similar to like your daily recommended calorie intake. And then your protein would be your savings. Like, okay, I have to hit my savings this month.
Right.
And then the other buckets within the protein, it's going to be personal for everyone too. So it kind of just is what is important to you to save towards. So I have like house, travel. There's like a contingency fund that you could save for. So like if you lost your job, or say your car needed repairs or something like that. And then you could also like invest a portion into the stock market. So those are like common savings buckets within that savings bucket. Then you can have another bucket. So my second sector would be fixed costs. So like rent, phone bill, insurance, food, gas. And like food and gas, those are going to be variable, but like I still set a limit within like my monthly expenses. And this kind of helps you just stay on track. Like even when things go up with inflation, like you either cut them out, or you can find substitutes, or you can make it work. Like I stopped buying avocados because they have like tripled in price. So yeah, I've just like made adjustments that way. Then the third sector is like your free spending. So it's still a set amount, but you can spend it on whatever you want. The reason why I think that works is because there are so many budgeting or like saving money techniques that are like, don't buy your $5 Starbucks, you're wasting your time. And it's like, well, who are you to say that that $5 Starbucks is somebody wasting their money? Like, it's not going to work for somebody, because then they're going to be like, oh my God, I really want my Starbucks. You never know what makes somebody's day, right? So I think budgeting is like, it's just so personal. And I think people need to find a balanced approach to budgeting, and like something that works toward a long-term goal. So when you think about your budget, like you should be thinking about like your 1-year goal, a 5-year goal, and a 10-year goal. And those are going to look different to everybody. But I think that's like the first step to just kind of, you have to have a direction, or else you don't know where you're going to end up, right? And I think the most important thing as well is to know where your money is going. Like I talk to so many people and they're like, I have no idea what I spend my money on.
Yeah. Okay, this is speaking to me because A, I feel like I'm directionless in my finances. B, like I wrote in our outline those like monthly charges from like Apple iCloud for like storage that are just like $4.99 a month, and you just like don't think about it. But then like, well, that's $5 times 12, so it's like $60 a year. And then I'm like, do I need that, or could I just get an external hard drive and save that $60 a year? Like, it's those types of things that I'm like, oh, I sometimes don't know where my money's going.
Yeah, and it is kind of scary, and I think it's important to, there's so many apps out there to help you. Yeah. But again, like I get really overwhelmed with apps, and I really like pencil. Like I love pencil to paper. So I write out, like I plan my weekends. Like I'm like, okay, I estimate how much I'm going to spend each weekend. I do have like a set amount that I can spend each weekend. But then, and then also like reflection, like going back and looking at your budget. I'm rambling.
No, I think that's such a good point, because, and I used to do that way more often, like even just like look at my bank statements, and then I got anxiety about 2 years ago and I completely stopped. And I know that's so fucking bad, but I like don't even look at my bank statements. I feel like I'm gonna get canceled. Like, people are probably like, fuck this bitch. But like, it's just an anxiety that I have because I don't get, like, all of the things that you just explained to me were in like lay person terms. But it's like every time I go to the bank, they're talking like all this gibberish. And I was like, I don't know what you're saying. And then I just leave overwhelmed and I don't do anything about it.
So like, are you confused about like what to save in, like different financial instruments?
I think like where would you suggest someone starting if they don't currently have a budget but think it would be wise to start one?
I think the first thing that you should do is figure out where your money is going. Money in, money out cannot be more than money in. Yeah. Or else you're going to make your future self broke. Like, that's the simplest thing.
Remember when I got a message in Mexico that was just like, it was from BMO, and it was like, 3 months in a row, you've had more money out than in. And I'm like, cool. I'm on fucking vacation right now. Like,
I don't need that kind of negativity in my life.
Yeah. I was like, how dare you? Like, oh my God. So funny. Okay. So looking at your bank statements, reflecting on where your money is going. Yeah, I think that's like a good first step of what I'm going to do is like look at my monthly subscriptions and stuff and just look at where I can be a little bit more frugal, like with my Spotify and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it is really important to take the baby steps, because like with anything, like if you go B to the W, like you're going to throw in the towel. It's going to become like so overwhelming. So like just start with something small. Another thing is like, for me, I used to be like a click consumer. Like I used to buy shit online. I used to give into like anything that an influencer posts, and I'd be like, oh my God, I need that, right? The biggest thing that has helped me, I just have like a note on my phone.
Yes.
I make a list. I'm like, yes, okay, I really want this. And I go and I add this to my note, and then it almost gives me a satisfaction like I'm buying it because I'm like, okay, I'm going to put this on my list for later. I would say 9 times out of 10, I don't end up buying the item.
I do the same thing, and it
That's
is so
great.
wild. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a note of like, home things I want, clothes I want, and like beauty and skincare stuff that I want. Because TikTok especially is so good at selling stuff because you're like, oh, it's not a celebrity endorsing something. It's a real person like me. And I've bought some of the stuff from TikTok that people have endorsed, and I haven't loved, like, some of the things I haven't loved. So I've definitely been, like, putting it on a note. And then you're right, like, sometimes I'll find something better or find out I don't need it or, like, find something that's, like, equivalent in my, like...
Hey, it's Jordan Ross Myers, the man behind Twitter's notorious Lee Radswell and Don Gunvalson. I'm inviting you to join me every week for the Pretty Corrupt podcast. Along with my co-host, reality casting director Stacey Noel Connor, and disgraced entertainment TV producer Nate Safer, we deconstruct pop culture's past, present, and future and probe the dark crevices of Hollywood, taking you inside the scandals, feuds, rises, and falls of society's rich and infamous. Alongside interviews with our celebrity friends and special guest hosts, everything is fair game on the Pretty Corrupt podcast. Every Tuesday on all streaming platforms and at storicmedia.com.
Storage unit, and it's like, oh, I just don't need this.
Yeah, like using something that you already have is huge.
Yeah. Have you bought any celebrity products or something that a celebrity has endorsed?
I bought the Kristen Calorie DP Hue blonding brush.
Yes.
Save your freaking money. Yeah, I was really disappointed in that. But I was...
Oh my God.
That was definitely like an impulse buy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. No, girl.
Oh my God, that's so wild. I'm on the verge of buying Skims. I've put it in my cart like a million times and then taken it out. But I've heard really good reviews. But I was thinking, because you asked me this question and I was like, no, like I don't do that. And then I was like, oh no, remember when I was obsessed with Emma Chamberlain and I bought a fucking like $400 Nespresso machine?
Yes, I remember.
And I like got into coffee. Like, thanks, Emma. Now I have to have a coffee every day. Like, before I didn't fucking drink coffee. And I was like 27 years old. Like, I got through university without drinking coffee, which like is annoying, but I actually do like it. And then like just like little shit, like she uses Carmex, so I bought like fucking like 10 Carmex like lip balms. Those that's I actually cheap. Endorse. Yeah, it was like $5 and like it's actually good. So, but the Nespresso was so fucking dumb. So I guess like she didn't necessarily like endorse it, but like it was just part of all of her. I was influenced. It was part of all her videos.
Have you heard of that? Like, the Hailey Bieber smoothie?
Yes, of course.
So I'm not in LA, but I like forced our mutual friend Kenzie. I was like, you have to go to Erewhon or however you pronounce it.
Oh, because she's in LA right now. Oh my God.
So I was influenced. I made her go buy it at her own expense. Yeah. And I made her I was like, I want like a food critic review.
And she would provide.
Apparently it's all the hype.
Yeah.
It's worth the $30, I guess.
I was just going to say, I bet it's $20 US, which is $30 Canadian.
Yeah, that's painful. But I mean, if I could have Hailey Bieber's skin, and if that's what she attributes it to, I would probably fit that into my budget.
Well, it's that and her Rhode Beauty. Have you bought any of her Rhode products?
I have not. Again, it's like, I want it. Do I need it? No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's just not fitting in my budget. But yeah, I'm kind of scared. I've heard good reviews about Rhode Beauty, especially like, Kay, you guys were talking about on the pod last episode, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, I don't know, I have like PTSD after Rare Beauty. So
oh my gosh, you didn't like Rare Beauty?
No, I did not.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because that gets pretty good reviews, I think, too.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, like usually I have like my skin is like as oily as like a fast food chain fryer. Like within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you can see the shine on the Zoom call, and I like blotted beforehand. But
me too.
Yeah, apparently the Rare Beauty primer was like made for oily skin. Maybe Sephora was just like marketing it wrong. But yeah, it like did not do me any justice. Like in fact, it probably made me like more of a grease ball. So
okay, that's so funny. Okay, I also want to say, this is like a little bit of a side tangent. This shine on my face is snail mucin. Have you heard of this?
No, is this like legit from snail?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like snail like excrement.
Is that legal?
Yeah. And okay, I'm not gonna lie. So it blew up on TikTok, this snail mucin product. Everyone's like, it gives you this glass look, this dewy look. It's better than hyaluronic acid or glycerin or like any other type of things that lock in moisture. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. But I don't think we got it in Canada, but then it came to Walmart. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. It's about the equivalent of my hyaluronic acid, so it would be like a fine swap. And then I was like, but do I really want to put like, I think it's like literally snail, like it's like snail trail or like snail boogers or like snail body parts.
What?
I don't even know what it is. I do not even know what it is, but it is something. It is 96% snail something. And it has no scent. It's clear. It feels really good. But I was like, I'm not going to do it. But I finally did it. And I've used it for 2 days. And I'm not going to lie, I think it really works.
Okay, like at least your face isn't orange.
Yes. Oh my God. From the buckthorn berry ordinary product that ruined my life and almost ended my career. But thanks. The Ordinary. Oh my God. Real RTBP listeners will know. We'll know that story. Like,
throwback.
But okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about money, and then we can wrap up with just like what people can expect from Woke Wallet Project. But I wanted to like talk about our jobs as from high school, because I was talking to my friend. We went to American Eagle this weekend, and I worked at American Eagle in my second year of university, and I literally thought I was like the hottest bitch, because when I was young, I was like only like the most gorgeous, like coolest people work at American Eagle. So when I was hired, I was like, oh my God, that's me. And I don't think I made $1 that summer because I spent it all on clothes. like I literally probably broke even or paid them.
When I picture high school Tori, you were like head to toe, not just American Eagle, but you're like American Eagle, Abercrombie, and Hollister, like head to toe.
Yeah,
with Old Navy flip flops every day.
Fucking dead. Oh my God, yes. I did upgrade to like Havanas or Havianas or whatever those are called, but like still rock a rubber flip flop. That's so funny. Do you have any fun high school job stories?
I was reflecting. Okay, I worked at the Keg. The Keg is like a chain steakhouse in Canada. I don't know if it's in the States, but
I don't think so.
It's kind of fancy, like I don't know, it's a bit expensive. If my job there and my work ethic had any implication on who I would be as a professional and an adult, I am so surprised at how far I have come from that employee. I was the worst employee ever.
No, who was the worst employee? The aforementioned Kenzie. I talk to her about this all the time.
We worked at the Keg.
She works with you, and that how you were both hosts, and there was dessert.
And we would take, I'm so sorry. I'm probably going to get like arrested or sued, but by like the FDA or whatever. we would literally take the cakes out of the freezer or the fridge before they, like, pre-serving to customers. We would take our fingers, like dirty fingers, swipe them around the cake, lick our fingers, and repeat.
Like the key lime pie, I was like, girl, or like cheesecake, I was like, girls, that's not even worth it. Like, okay, but at Rap Zone,
that was the best job.
It was the best job, honestly. Live and die by Rap Zone. I still believe that, but I would sit in the freezer and eat the cookie dough. So I was like basically the same, but it was like in chunks, so it wasn't like unsanitary. And then there was this time that I think about, like, literally once a day if I make a smoothie, because Rap Zone was like wraps, kind of like Subway. If people don't know, it was like you could either choose a preset wrap or you would make your own. And then the drinks were smoothies. And there was one time it was so busy and I was by myself, and this chick ordered like a mixed berry smoothie, but it had a whole banana in it. And so I put all the ingredients that you needed into the blender, and I blended it for like 2 minutes or whatever as I was like doing something else for someone else. And then so the blender was done, so I took it off the machine and I poured it into the cup. I'm literally dying. And the entire banana... So, like, everything was mixed, but the entire banana stayed intact, and I poured it into the cup, and the banana went into the cup, and then, like, you couldn't see it because the smoothie would, like, covered it, so you couldn't tell. This is so bad. And I just put the lid on in the straw and gave it to her, so she would have been drinking her smoothie and been like, what's this chunk? And it was a whole banana. So, you know, when you're like 16 and you just like, you don't think of like consequences, or like, you don't think of anything when you're 16.
You like only think about yourself. Clearly.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm so busy. I just need to pour this and go. It is so bad.
I thought you were gonna say about the time that you washed your hair in the Rap Zone sink before a party.
Yeah, okay. I was also a working gal, and not many of our other friends had jobs, or at least I was working late, like a Friday night in the summer, and like I feel like every night in the summer we went out, like even if it was a weekday. It was like one of those summers, and I showed up looking just heinous, hey daddy, to Rap Zone.
My favorite words this day.
Yeah, me too. And I was like, okay, I'll just like get dressed and then leave after work. Then I was like running late or something like that, and I was like, oh, I need a shower and stuff like that. I might cut this out, but I was like, I'll just like rinse my hair in the back with like the long hose, like the dish hose. Oh my god,
the industrial hose, like the dishwashing hose.
Yeah, but like hair never cleaner. like the pressure on that bad boy was unreal, but it was so bad. Then I just left out the back door and went to a party.
Yeah, and also
it was so bad.
Your iP was like always plugged in.
Oh my god, I was just gonna say, I was allowed to play my own music, which I often was the playlist, like I was the aux cord girl in our group. But my my iPod, for anyone who doesn't get that ref, but like I played like the most, like I bet I played Pussy Money Weed by Lil Wayne.
Yeah, you did.
Like just to like the customers. Like what the fuck? Oh my god, I was such a bad cake. But like my other job was at Access Cargo, and we had like the worst return policy in our entire lives. And basically you would sign the bottom and circle the return policy. So if people came back and were pissed, you'd be like, well, sir, I explained it here, and this is the return policy. Which, like, was that fair? Probably not, but that was just what we did. And then this person came to the store and wanted to return this, like, glass bowl that was, like, kind of like a vase. So I was the cashier. They came up and they're like, hey, I want to return this. I was like, oh, we don't return items. Sorry, it's like a refurbished product store. And they're like, well, I didn't know about the policy. And I was like, can I see your receipt, please? And then I saw it was me that explained it to them. So I was like, like it's circled and signed here, meaning I explained it to you. I'm so sorry that you can't return this like $15 vase. The person turns around, drops it, it shatters.
What?
It completely shatters, and they walk away and they're like, well, I guess I don't need it anyways. And I was like, this is psycho. It was so bad. But like, I was like, that could have been like trauma, but I moved on quickly, I guess. We've had more fulfilling and better. We've been better at our jobs since then.
When I was working at the keg, sometimes we would have to like do food runs for servers. First of all, I was like always pissed when people would like tell me to do something. Like I would be like, oh, I fucking hate that person. And I'm like looking back, those were like that was my job. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
But anyway,
yeah.
So like I did a food run like with some major dude. I had to deliver some crab legs. So there is probably like a, I don't know, $40 meal. Well, I dropped the crab legs like as I was like approaching the table. There was one crab leg left on the plate. I served it to the person who saw me drop her crab legs, and I fucking ran away. Like, I didn't tell the server. I didn't bring them new crab legs. Like, how am I employable today?
I don't know. That's so funny. So then they were like in shock, and then they probably went to the server like, hi, I got one of 6 crab legs.
I actually have no idea because I'm like, after that, I got like my next shift, I got cut after 10 minutes. So like, they were probably like, let's just send this girl home.
Okay, but also like, did you say to like someone who could clean up like,
no, I said nothing.
Okay, so then
I was like,
someone's
this
gonna walk by and
fucking
see
problem.
I'm dead. Okay, I swear to God, I'm a good employee. Oh my God. That is so funny. Anyways, making money is important. What can people expect on the Woke Wallet Instagram? Like, why should they follow?
I think the Woke Wallet project, I hope it's going to be a realistic approach to budgeting for people. I hope there's some practical tools that people can use. And I also hope to show people that you can live on a budget and also like live a fulfilling life. Like, I still do fun things on the weekends. So I was thinking of doing like a weekend wrap up where I show you like what I did and how much money I spent, how I like save money on the weekends, but still like I don't cut out like my social life, or I like to have a bevy. So like I don't cut those things out really, but I have like adjusted my life to make it work with my budget. And I probably have like a more fulfilling life than ever, spending way less than I did before.
Yeah.
So I hope I can share that with other people. It's really just for fun, but let's see how it blossoms.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So follow. You're at the Woke Wallet project.
Yeah.
I was gonna say podcast. Stay tuned for the podcast at some point. Maybe that's what it blossoms into. Okay, let's get into like the celebrity gossip of this episode. The first thing that we wanted to talk about was Tarek and Heather. Heather, famously from Selling Sunset, Tarek from like HGTV, but they're expecting a baby boy together. And they did like you know, poppers, blue confetti kind of baby announcement on Instagram. What
are your thoughts on Tarek and Heather?
I actually like them as a couple. I don't like either of them personally.
Oh my God.
But,
okay.
But like, I actually really liked, so Heather in the beginning seasons of Selling Sunset, I was like, hit or miss, like kind of neutral.
But the last season, I was like, I have so much respect for you as a human.
Yes, she became like literally my favorite.
Right? I just think she's like I don't want to take any like political advice from her kind of person.
No.
Or like anything.
She's having a gender reveal party. We're not taking advice from this chick.
But like, I think that she's actually like a good human, and she's a good friend. And I think, I don't know, she just seems like she has values.
Yeah, I do think she's a really good friend. I think her and Tarek like weirdly work together. Mm-hmm. And I think she's a really good stepmom, and I think she's going to be a good mom.
I do too.
Yeah, so Tarek has 2 kids before with Christina.
Yeah, I forgot her last name, but
me too. She was also an HGTV host. So he has Taylor, who's 11, and Brayden, who is 6. Apparently, they're really excited, and Heather really has talked a lot about how being a stepmom has been so fulfilling, and she's so grateful for that relationship. So I'm happy for them.
Another thing, like in Selling Sunset, I don't know if you noticed, but she always referred to Tarek's kids as her kids, which I thought was really nice. Like, you know, she doesn't say Tarek's kids, or like, it was just like, she just assumed that role so naturally. Not assumed, but like, you know,
stepped into it.
Yeah, so to speak, like stepmom. But I'm really excited for them. I don't like Tarek as a person. I just think he's such a douchebag, but I don't know. Maybe there's something that Heather sees, obviously. There must be some good qualities. And he's been through a lot, too. Like, I don't know if you know, like, he's had cancer twice.
Oh, my God, I did not know that.
So, like, when he was filming, I don't remember the TV show that him and Christina had.
It was some
flop
type of, like,
or something.
Yeah, like House Flippers.
Yeah, I think it was like a nurse who was watching the show noticed he had a lump on his neck. Yeah, and so he had some kind of lymphoma, like, I don't even know the technical term, but like lymphomatic cancer.
Wow.
Yeah, and then a couple years later, he had testicular cancer. Yeah,
wild.
I know. So he has been through a lot. I just like, I don't know. I don't like how he's talked about his ex-wife.
Same. And like a few months ago, they were watching like either Taylor or Brayden's soccer game, and Christina, Tarek, and Heather got into like a screaming match on like the side of the soccer field, which I don't think it was ever like defined of what they were fighting about, but
I don't think it was ever disclosed. But then Heather came out and said that they like reconciled. Because I think the son was in the hospital for like appendicitis that night or something. Yeah. So I think that was really like big of Heather to come out and say that too. Like, I just think she's like a good person. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I get good vibes from her. Do you think that they're going to show the pregnancy or like the birth on Selling Sunset?
Hundo P.
Do you think Christine's going to be jelly because she's the new mom?
I don't know. I think she probably will have some kind of like nasty comment because it's Christine. But I think Heather's a big enough person that she'll like brush it off and she'll be like, well, I don't care, Christine, you're out of line or something, or how dare you how dare you bring my child into this drama or something along those lines. But I don't know. I don't expect anything good from Christine, so probably.
Literally.
Yeah.
But if they do the same storyline where Christine sends an over-the-top flower arrangement to Heather's baby shower, I'll be pissed.
Oh my God,
we're not that stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I bet they would do that and be like, oh, no one will notice. I will notice. And they have a new show together, Tarek and Heather, on HGTV, so maybe they'll show more of their baby story there.
I think that'll work. I think we'll probably see Heather leave the Oppenheimer group then, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll tie in somehow. But yeah,
I could see her going to Selling OC because she and Tarek actually live in the OC.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
So maybe, because then I think they have to commute to LA to film the show. So I could see her maybe moving down there.
Yeah. So, like, one more thing about Tarek, and it's just, like, kind of ironic how he's just going to do, like, the same show that he had with his ex-wife.
And she looks like the exact same.
Exactly. They look the exact same. And then, was it Tarek or Heather? I don't think Heather would have said it, but correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Tarek say, like, oh, Heather is my ex-wife, but hotter and richer?
I think he said something, like, very similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then now he's going to create like the exact same life that they had,
Show.
career that they had together. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
I'm happy for Heather, but.
Me too. If she's happy, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But like Tarek, it's just like eye roll.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing, like another kind of flashback from our high school days. Another thing that was very frequently on my IEP was High School Musical. And a few weeks ago, Vanessa Hudgens was seen at East High in Salt Lake City. And she posted a little TikTok of her and some, High School Musical music. And then this week, Zac was there. What do you think is going on with these two?
I don't know. I feel like because it was 1 month apart, that kind of says a lot. Like, I feel like if it was in like a day or a week or two, that would be like more like indicative that they're going to come back for a reunion. But yeah. I don't know. Like, Vanessa has kind of like poo-pooed any reunion. But then Zac has been like publicly being like DTR.
Which is so DTF. DTF or DTR?
DTR. Down to reunion.
Oh my god, duh.
Or okay, down to reunite.
Reunite. Okay, I'm obsessed with that. I thought you were saying define the relationship.
Oh no.
And I was like, could there be a reunion of Vanessa and Zac?
I
would
wish.
Love that.
Yeah.
My 15-year-old heart would be so happy. But I agree, like, okay, so it was super weird because Vanessa, when there was like the 10-year reunion or whatever they did, Vanessa was there and Zac wasn't. And then it's kind of flipped where now Zac is the one who is engaging with it and she's not. But you're right. Like, I think that if it was a reunion, it would be, they would post a full cast photo or it would be on similar days. So my guess is that they are doing a cameo for season 4 or season 3 or season 4 because it got picked up for both of them, but of High School Musical, the musical series.
I think you're on the right track. What would you hope would happen? Like, ideal world, forgetting all the evidence that you have, like, what would be your dream situation?
That they go into the rooftop and do a performance in the garden, like, rooftop. Like, that's the dream. But we know that's not going to happen. So I think, like, more realistically, yeah, maybe, like, Vanessa meets with Nini, who is played by Olivia Rodrigo, and is, because she is, like, a guest. Like, she's not part of the main cast for season 3. I doubt she's coming back for season 4. Maybe she comes to the school and like gives her a pep talk and she like leaves or whatever. I don't know what Zac would be doing, but I think that's the most likely thing because Corbin Bleu is on the season playing himself and they're doing like a Camp Rock / Frozen.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's so weird because Camp Rock was like trying to capitalize on High School Musical's like success back in the day. So it's like, it's weird that now they're doing it again.
Yeah.
But then Frozen as their like, semesterly musical or whatever is just so weird.
I feel like one thing about these kind of nostalgic things is like the nostalgia feels good because it's like, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's not coming back. So I'm kind of like, I don't know what I want to happen. I kind of just want to leave it as it is.
Sometimes it is better to leave it as it is. Like, remember the Gilmore Girls reboot?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it is truly better to just not do the sequel, not do the reboot, not do any of that stuff. Okay,
but actually one thing I'm actually really pissed about, the Lizzie McGuire reboot.
Oh my God. I think about that again. As I'm like falling asleep at night, they filmed 2 episodes and we will never see them. And I am so fucking pissed.
I'm actually heartbroken and I don't know when I will get over this.
Me too. I will get over it when they finally move it from Disney Plus to Hulu and give us the adult version of the show. Yeah, I ended up watching How I Met Your Father, and I thought it was super cute. I binged it in like one day.
Okay, I've got to watch that. I love Hilary
Yeah.
Duff. I just think she's so great.
She's so great, and it really like scratched my Lizzie McGuire itch. But yeah, I just fucking want Lizzie McGuire back.
Have you watched Younger? Side note.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
I have watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
oh,
5
so
times.
Good.
I've watched it 5.
Yeah. I did a rewatch too, so that's I love that. Okay, now we're at the part of the show where I'm gonna nominate a Pettyweight Champion of the Week, someone in the media who did something petty, and I thought it was iconic. I texted Lindsay. I was like, I have to talk about this, and she was like, she was like, I get my news from like Just Jared and like E! News or whatever you said. And I was like, okay, same, but this is some Gen Z gossip that I've been following for like 2 years.
Take it away.
So Sabrina Carpenter is the chick that I've been saying chick a lot. I fucking hate that. Who
it's
am
better
I?
than Chica.
Yeah. I'm such a millennial. I just want to say chica sometimes. Like
all I think of when I hear Chica is like, what was that movie? Freaky Friday. And her punk rock friend always wore that shirt that said Chica.
Chica?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Cringe. That's what I think of when I hear Chica. So I'm like, okay.
That's so funny.
Chica's better than Chica.
True. Sabrina Carpenter is my Pettyweight Champion of the Week. A small recap if no one's been following this, but it was big drama when Olivia Rodrigo's first song came out, Driver's License, and it references lyrics about a blonde girl taking away her boyfriend and them getting together, referencing Joshua Bassett and Sabrina Carpenter. And there was many things that happened after that. Like Joshua literally went to the hospital for like stress-induced like heart failure or like septic. I don't know. I'm going to sound so dumb, but like when your body just like gives up living.
Yeah.
And he was really impacted. Sabrina released a song called Skin, which has some scathing lyrics like, maybe we could have been friends if I met you in another life. Maybe then we could pretend there's no gravity in the words we write. Maybe you didn't mean it. Maybe blonde was the only rhyme, mentioning the blonde lyric in Driver's License. Anyways, it kind of fizzles out, but this was everything everyone was talking about in January 2021. At the Met Gala this May, Sabrina and Olivia were seen talking, which was really interesting. And then we kind of, heard Josh's side of the story, Sabrina's, Olivia's. And then Sabrina released, I think, a single from her new album, like Emails I Never Sent. And there is a song called Because I Liked a Boy. And I'm going to read you out some lyrics. It says, who knew cuddling on trampolines could be so reckless? We bonded over black-eyed peas and complicated exes. And this kind of refers to Olivia's lyrics when she says, I bet you taught her or showed her Billy Joel. And then she goes, now I'm a homewrecker. I'm a slut. I got death threats filling up semi-trucks. Tell me who I am. Guess I don't have a choice. All because I liked. I'm guessing it's like, a boy. And then it's like, I'm the hot topic on your tongue. I'm a rebound, getting around, stealing from the young. Because in the song Driver's License, she says that the blonde is older. Then it says, tell me who I am. I guess I don't have a choice. All because I liked a boy. Finally, the lyrics says, was only trying to hold you close while your heart was failing. It's not internet illusion, just two kids going through it. Again, referencing Joshua Bassett's heart failure. So this is like, I feel like the clapback of a century, but also just like clinging on to like whatever like storyline she had in this thing. I'm like, girl, this was 2 years ago. Like, let's move on. She has like had multiple boyfriends since, so I think she's like super over it. But I totally get that it would be really tough because like, okay, I feel like this is I don't want to say girl's dream because like any child's dream, and maybe I'm projecting majorly, but it's like, okay, I want to be on Disney Channel.
Obviously,
and I want to be
do.
Yeah, same. I'm like, I cannot believe I've aged out of Disney Channel. Like, I would have to be the mom now. Like, it's so dark. But it's like, hey, well, if I'm the female main character, and there's a male main character love interest, like, and we fall in love, a la Vanessa and Zac, Kristen and Rob, Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield, like, that's the dream. That's the fucking dream. So I feel like when her and Joshua broke up, even if he was a little bit shitty or like whatever, I feel like it would just be really tough to get over.
I feel really bad for her.
You obviously aren't a Sabrina Carpenter like listener, but I'm actually going to check out her album. I've liked her, like, some of her previous songs. It's no Olivia Rodrigo for sure, but it's like fun, poppy, earworm type of songs.
I do like Olivia Rodrigo. I think my problem and like why I'm not as versed in this drama is because I literally only listen to like reggaeton and Spanish music.
It's true. Olivia Rodrigo's album, even though it was only 34 minutes, is, I think, like a masterpiece. It's really good.
The lyrics are really good, and I think it's hard to find lyrics with the depth anymore.
Yes.
So,
and especially at her age, I was just really impressed.
Yeah. Almost like Alessia Cara, but better. Like, Alessia Cara's music is still very poppy, whereas Olivia Rodrigo is iconic. Like, almost timeless lyrics.
Yes, that's so true. Yeah. Also, where did Alessia Cara, like, go? What a Canadian icon.
One hit once. Yeah.
Yeah, truly. Okay, it is finally time for This Week in Petty, where Lindsay is going to share a story about something that happened to her in real life that she's petty about. What are you petty about this week?
Yeah, I'm like ultra petty. I've actually scaled back on the pet because I actually had like a handful of items where I was like, hey, I want to discuss this on the podcast, but I have to remember, like, this is not my therapy session.
She was like, I have 3 stories, but I scaled it down to 2. I was like, okay, just bring them all. Like, let's get into it.
Okay, the first thing that I wanted to be petty about. So recently, my partner and I, we purchased a new vehicle. And when you, Okay, side note for anybody who's going to at me, it's cheaper right now to buy a new car than it is to buy a used car.
You're so funny. No one's going to at you. But yes, I'm sure you budgeted it out. Don't worry.
Also, another side note. A PSA for everybody. You can negotiate your car price. I thought that this was like common knowledge and like everybody fucking did this. And Tori was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was over at Lindsay's house like a month ago and she was like, oh yeah, like when we're like negotiating car prices. And I was like, just wait, you can do that? I thought it was a fixed price, like you walk into a store when you buy something and you just go to the till and buy it. But apparently that's not the case. I'm so dumb. Like,
you should like negotiate like anything that you can, like including like your rent, your
I'm
phone bill, your internet.
Fuck, I'm so bad. I'm just like, I'll sign whatever paper just
to avoid anything. Yeah. But anyway, so we got our new car finally, and they give you like a free Sirius XM trial. And I was like, I always use Spotify, but anyway, I was like, well, let's just see what's on Sirius XM. I remember Sirius XM from like riding in my mom's car. And my mom used to always play like 70s on 7 or like, you know, those like flashback channels. And I was like, oh, this is such shit. Like, I just was like, you know, an annoyed teenager or like early 20s about it. Well, I found out that they have a channel now and it's 10s on 10 or something. And I was like, at first I was like so fucking pumped. And then I was like, oh, I like had the biggest epiphany. I was like, this is how I know I'm aging, because they now have a specific channel for my fucking decade. Oh my God, my heart like hit my butt. I was like, oh my God. But it's actually the best channel. So I'm petty about it because I'm like, shit, thanks SiriusXM for, you know, making us millennials feel old, but it's where it's at. I don't think I'm going to pay for the subscription.
Yeah. No, I like get that though, because like I'm a 92 baby. So like when it's like 90s hits, I'm like, yeah, I like vibe with it, but it's not like my decade. And then like 2000s, like I was still really young. So again, like I get it, but I was really young, but the 2010s obviously is like.
Those are the bangers.
Yeah. I guess actually the 2010s, I was already in university. Such good music. Oh, that's so funny. Wild. I wouldn't have guessed that they have a channel like that. Or like they probably have fucking radio station. Well, I guess this is a radio station, but like on public channels, not on Sirius XM, that are for us oldies.
I know. I can't believe our decade's already on a channel. So I'm like pissed. I'm a bitter Betty about it, but I'm also like kind of happy, and I like blare it. So
yeah,
you know what? Yeah. I'm just gonna accept it and roll with it.
Okay, I love that. I can see you driving around in your car blasting. I don't know, Justin Bieber, Calvin Harris, Rihanna.
We found love.
Yes. Oh my God, that song stands the test of time.
And then another TWIP extra.
Yeah, okay. I so glad that you also put this in my notes, because in my head I call it TWIP. This Week in Betty, TWIP, Avi. But no one else does. So when you put in like TWIP, I was like, fuck yeah. Let's make this happen.
Okay, this one is like relates back to episode 100 actually. So I'm at the gym. It's Monday night.
Yeah.
I see the Stairmaster. It's all for me. I'm like, fuck yes, this is a good night. I get the notification that RTBP episode 100 is out on Spotify. And I'm like, oh my God, the stars have aligned. I like climb the Stairmaster. I get my workout on and I hit play. I accidentally hit 2 times for the speed. You know when you're working out and you work out with workout music that's like BPM, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you go to the beat. Yeah.
So I was like, hey, this might actually work. Okay, Tori's voice on high speed just sounds so like natural. Like I was like, oh my God, Tori's talking really fast now, but it just worked for you. Like it just sounds right.
I advocate for this. Listen to RTBP on, I would say 1.5. The jokes hit different.
They do. But I almost had cardiac arrest because I was trying to keep up with the podcast. Like I was going at the speed of the pod. My cardiovascular system was not equipped. My heart rate was like 173. Like I couldn't.
Did you check on your Apple Watch?
No, yeah, I checked and I was like sweating buckets. I checked my Apple Watch. The heart monitors on the machine didn't work. Like, luckily, because they probably would have shut down. They would have been like dangerous levels.
This was like one time, Rowan, my sister, and I went to Disneyland in 2019, and we went on the like. It's in Disneyland. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like railroad something. And we were on it, and it was like going over like the bumps and the drops and stuff like that. And she looks at her Apple Watch like on the little railing, and she's like, I should be dead right now. Because she's a nurse, so she knows like BPM or not beats per minute.
Yeah.
Well, is it beats per minute?
Is,
okay.
Yeah.
She knows like heart rate, so she's like, she just looks at me. She's like, I should be dead right now. Oh my God, that's so funny. Well, I bet you did get a good workout in. But
it was the best workout of my life.
God, it didn't kill you. I so appreciate you listening. That's amazing.
Love it. But I actually had like the worst work review one year when the pod first came out, because I was listening to the pod at work, and like I have to be like super focused, like hyper focused at work.
Me too.
But I was like distracted by the pod, and it was like in my review they were like, we really noticed that your quality of work has gone down, and we think it might be because you were listening to podcasts at work.
Oh my God, Lindsay. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm the same. I can only listen to like classical music.
Yeah.
Or like music without words when I'm working.
Or like Ibiza chill.
Yeah,
That's my YouTube playlist for music. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so fucking funny. Yeah. I love when I hear where people listen to the podcast because it just seems so intimate. Like if it's like in the shower, like cooking, or on your like hot girl walk. Like I just love all of that.
Yeah. I just had to like add that in there for you. I was like, oh my God. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Okay, that's it from us. Thank you so much for coming on. This was so much fun. I don't laugh harder with anybody else, truly. Where can the listeners find you and anything else you want to plug?
You can find me at The Woke Wallet Project on Instagram. Also my personal at Lindsay Mia with 2 A's. Remember, I'm a wannabe influencer, so just hit me up.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. Me too, but it's like I don't like doing any of the things that influencers do. So it's like so counterproductive.
Like taking a selfie. I've had to take a selfie for this podcast, and I've been like too hang to take a picture for 2 weeks. I'm trying to schedule with my hair washing schedule, and it's just like not working out.
I'm so sorry. I'm the exact same because I'm always like, oh, I want to talk about this on TikTok, and then I like turn the iPhone front camera on, and I'm like, oh, like tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Lindsay for joining me on today's episode. If you're not already, you should follow me on socials at RTBP Podcast and leave the podcast a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. It helps listeners find us and grow the RTBP community so we can get awesome guests and put a lot back into this show and this really fun community that I love so dearly. Thank you again for listening. Sincerely, I hope you are safe and healthy out there. As always, I'm your host, Tori, and I am ready to be petty. See you soon. Bye.